So, folks, here's a question. What is the purpose of the United Nations? Can someone really tell me this? What is the purpose of the United Nations? It's a question that President Donald Trump asked in his speech yesterday, in terms of if President Truman started the United Nations to prevent conflict in the world in 1946 or 1947. So then what is their purpose if they are not preventing conflict and they are not ending conflicts? And the only people who are preventing conflicts are individual nations who have power, like the United States and maybe to some extent the European Union and also Russia as well in certain instances. It seems to me that it's individual nations who are actually ending conflicts or preventing them from happening. Then the question for me is then, what is the purpose of the United Nations? I don't want to hear anything about from Africans who, because all you guys want is aid. You want all of these non-ending millions and hundreds of millions of dollars per year in aid. All you know is to want to beg. So obviously you do see a purpose in the United Nations because you are receiving charity from the United Nations every year. And by the way, you are not receiving charity from the United Nations. You are receiving charity from the nations who are giving money to the United Nations. Like for instance, the United States gave the United Nations $13 billion last year. The EU also gave quite a bit of billions of dollars to the United Nations last year. Same will go to China, India, Russia, and all those nations. So you're not receiving aid from the United Nations. You're receiving aid from these nations who are giving money to the United Nations. And that can't possibly be the purpose of the United Nations, that you can always go with your begging basket every year because you can't get your shit together. You can't stop anything, wars, famine, and all of that crap. I'm just asking, what is the purpose of this institution? Because the United Nations to me seems to me like an institution that just exists as a talk shop. They meet, they talk, nothing changes. It seems to me that the United Nations has a purely ceremonial role. You know, like in a university, for instance, you have, especially universities in South Africa, you have the vice chancellor, who is basically the CEO of the university. And then you have the chancellor, who basically has a ceremonial purpose in a university. It seems to me that the United Nations has a purely ceremonial purpose. Has no purpose, has no function, contributes nothing to the world. If you know what it is that the United Nations is actually contributing to the world, please let me know. Please let me know. Which conflict do you know of that the United Nations has either prevented from happening or stopped from happening, which was not stopped by a handful of nations acting on their own accord? Please let me know. And the question is that why do nations keep spending so much money on this institution, which I have no idea what its purpose is? I would really like to know.